Hello and welcome to a Blasexplanation of the new Season 2 of Blaseball. After a week off in which most of the Forbidden Book has been unredacted, Blaseball returns for its new second season. On day 1, the decree choices for this season are revealed. Which umpire will we choose to enforce the rules in the new Season 3? The decrees also show us the names by which we may refer to each of the umpires: Bard, Knight, Mage, and Rogue. There are also 15 blessings available, and a new feature on the elections page allows you to see which blessings other fans of your team are voting for, making collaborative efforts a little bit easier. As the games begin, Horizon Weather returns. The black hole continues to burp players out. 11 players crash into the field, although Yam's Sokol manages to crash twice in one game. And 3 players crash into other players, burying them and taking their place in the roster. We are also introduced to 4 new weathers, solar eclipses of different colours. These colours relate to the umpires, and in their colour eclipse they can take action. In red eclipse, the mage umpire calls players alternates. During the season, the mage alternates 12 players, including Ralph Vincent twice. In blue eclipse, the rogue umpire incinerates players. They get a total of 12 during the season. In gold eclipse, the bard umpire tries to curse players, with the modification can't lose. But we witnessed 5 players manage to dodge the curse, so only 3 were successful. And in silver eclipse, the knight umpire tries to swear players in, sending them questing in the shadows. 6 players were able to parry this, but 5 accept their duty. The Bard umpire's curse is not new. We saw Zephyr McLeod receive this modification in the new Season 1 election, but we now know its effect. If the team they are playing for loses, they change to the winning team. Zephyr makes 34 moves up to day 78, between 13 different teams. They then land on the stakes. Jenkins Ingram, who was cursed on day 26, makes 27 moves between 13 different teams, before joining Zephyr on the stakes on day 79. Zephyr and Jenkins, who having been cursed by the Bard, are being referred to collectively as the Band, make 5 more team changes together. Zephyr made 39 changes in the season, and Jenkins made 32. They end the season on the mechanics. Özlem Sutner was cursed on day 53 and makes 22 changes between 8 different teams. This includes during the postseason, and they finish with the Sunbeams. Sigmund Castillo received their curse on day 81, only having time to make 3 moves, but between 3 different teams. Knighted is also familiar, as Simon Haley was sworn in at the election. What this entails is still a bit of a mystery, but Chambers Simmons, who begins questing on day 50, discovers a heart and gets a boost to all their attributes, taking their batting up to 5.5 stars, which is something that the Commissioner is impressed with. But Flan Prince, who was sworn in on day 82, retreats from the sound of scuttling and loses points from all their attributes. The umpires do not stop there, also engaging in the games to rule in players' favours. The mage is the most involved, whereas the knight only steps in once. However, it becomes apparent that currently the rogue umpire only rules in favour of players whose team have the rogue modification, the knight for players on forced teams, the bard for players on scattered teams, and the mage for players on entangled teams. And the opposite is true for their effects, as they never target players from those teams. There was a change to the schedule this season, with games starting later, but we barely saw the daily 3-game gap that we should have, as there was a large amount of spillover. After day 65, which saw a game last an hour and 50 minutes, the site announced an internal error and that a normalisation of the high time density was incoming. Games began as normal on day 66. Postseason is then upon us, as 8 teams qualify. It is the Flowers, Magic, Sunbeams and Fridays who go through, as the Flowers and Fridays sweep. After some confusion from the commissioner about the arrangement of the bracket, the Flowers beat the Magic and the Sunbeams beat the Fridays. And in a final that almost saw a sweep, the Sunbeams took the title, receiving their golden record from legal notary Parker Macmillan V. Having finished the season on the championship winning team, Özlem Sutner discards their can't lose modification. After the postseason, attention turns to the election. Which umpire will be overseeing the league? The results are in, and play remains under review. It is the barred umpire, inflictor of the can't lose curse, who will be the crew chief for new season 3. They are bound to the book, and their judgment is pending. Plenty happens with the blessings too. The Breathmints yeet Jesse Treadwell into the black hole and gain Vernon Glump. The Mechanics win Mage Strike and alternate a player on the stakes. The Firefighters gain 5 players from the black hole. The Lift win Rogue Strike and see the Worms Johnny Boy Astor incinerated. The Georges win Bard Strike and a Spies player is cursed, while the Wild Wings see Baker Castor return to their shadows. And as Blaseball returns to its old confusing ways, we see the Sunbeams win the Evil Conference Championship, despite being in the Good Conference. And Blaseball continues its honoured tradition of being haunted, as in a game between the Lovers and the Tacos, Ramil Yang is incinerated by the rogue umpire and then immediately steps up to bat again. Thank you for joining me for another Blaxplanation. I'll be back with more Blaseball fun and facts soon, but until then, rejoice, play ball.